In today's video, I'm going to be building every single brand new weapon and item from Fortnite Chapter 6. Fortnite Chapter 6 is a ton of fun and brought a bunch of new elements to the game, like boons, larger bosses, and sprites. So of course, I made all three of those, including all of our brand new weapons, the Oni masks, and even the new chest in Lego. Before we get into it, make sure that you're subscribed. I got a ton more Lego Fortnite content coming in the future, including a Winterfest video where I built the entire Crackshot cabin out of Lego. So stay tuned for that video coming in the next week or so. I'll leave a link to the Lego Fortnite playlist in the description and also on the end card if you want to see all my other Lego Fortnite videos. But now guys, without further ado, let's get into these Chapter 6 builds. The first thing we're going to take a look at is two minifigures from the Battle Pass. Our first minifigure we're going to take a look at is Shadow Blade Hope. This one was really fun to make. I used these legs from Ninjago. This is actually Ahsoka's torso from the Clone Wars. These arms here were really nice. These are from the new Bellatrix minifigure, and it's this really nice dual molding where the shoulder is bare, and then there's gloves here which look great. I've got this black mask here. And this is like the only blue hairpiece I have, but it works pretty well. And then the face underneath there looks pretty good. I believe this is from a DC minifigure. She turned out great, but now let's take a look at the Kendo skin. For this skin, I yet again used some legs from Ninjago. This torso is actually from the Kai Minecraft minifigure, but I think it works perfect. The only problem is, obviously, it's really pixely. But it does capture his torso in-game very well, because he's got kind of like that sash along his chest, and then there's even some gold elements in there. I just used this basic face here, but I think it works good. And then I just used this ponytail piece in black, which captures his hair in-game pretty well. This season, you can find these Shogun X's running around the map, and they give you pretty good loot when you kill them. It's our first kind of like real boss in the game, so I built him out of Lego. Now, first off, he's pretty big. If we get one of our minifigures from earlier, he's about 3 times taller than a normal minifigure, but that's pretty accurate to him in-game. The build has a lot of black and dark red pieces, and he's really posable. If we take a look at his arms, he's got elbow joints, wrist joints, and shoulder joints. So his arms are really posable, and his legs sadly can only really go side to side, and then his ankles can move too. But he stands very well and looks really cool. His sword was pretty challenging to make because there's not many like long stick pieces like this. But I ended up using this piece, which actually I believe came in a Metal Beard set from the Lego movie quite a few years ago, and I just put these gold elements on the side here. On his shoulders, on this side he has a bunch of black spikes, and on this side he has an Oni mask, which I replicated just using some of these horn pieces along with these red eyes. His shoulder armor looks really good in my opinion, and I'm super happy how he turned out. His toes are made with a cheese slope and this Technic pin, and this actually just goes right into the bottom of a 1x1 brick. And on the back, I've got these slopes here just to kind of cover up the back of his ankles. His head was really fun to make. It's just this dish piece along with this piece that has like clips all the way around. And then I just put these 1x1 brown clips on the sides, and then for his head, I just used a 2x2 gray cylinder. If we flip him around, this piece here is meant to represent the hair that is coming out of the back. That's why it's different than the front. And I'm actually really happy with how he came out, and he looks just like his in-game counterpart. But now let's move on to everybody's favorite part of the season, the little sprites that are running around the map. So first off, I got our wind and water sprite. These are the most common sprites to find around the map. For the water sprite, I used a lot of these translucent blue pieces, especially for his little feet and the top of his head. I used these little 1x1 tile pieces with this eyeball print on them. And then the wind sprite here has a rounded head, and I use clips for his feet and his arms. If we put these guys next to a minifigure, you can see that they're pretty accurate to their in-game size. There's one sprite we haven't taken a look at yet, and that is the Earth sprite. This one is actually really rare in-game, and not many people have found it. You can actually give this one a gun, and it will give you a legendary item in return. It is much bigger than the other sprites, and also is stationary and doesn't run around. But I made sure to build up the rocks on the sides here, and then in the center we've got the wood part, This little bit of black here is his mouth. You can see it kind of slopes in there for his mouth. And then these two translucent studs are for his eyes. And then on top, he just has a few little branches, including this one that has like some little moss on it or something like that. Flipping it around, you can kind of see how I built him a little bit. And if we put him next to a minifigure, he's a little tall, but I think he still looks really good. Running around the Chapter 6 map, you'll find our usual chests, maybe even a lucky chest, and just some ammo crates. But now you're going to be able to find the elemental chest, which can have some really great loot in it. So I built that in Lego. It is just on a 2x4 base. I used this lock piece from a pirate set. That just looks great there. On the top, I used some of these green, like, slope pieces, which really came in handy here. I also made sure to sprinkle in some of this, like, dark orange and dark red pieces. The coloring on this is a little strange, and it's kind of hard to tell what parts are what colors, but I think it turned out looking really nice, and it's really accurate to the size of a minifigure. In game, you can find these things around the map called boons, and they give you different abilities, kind of like small medallions. There's 4 different ones of these in the game right now. These include the fire boon, the void boon, the wind boon, and the water boon. So of course, I made all 4 of these in Lego. It's a very, very simple build. It's just a 1x2 jumper in whatever color fits best, and then on top I put a 1x1 translucent tile of whatever the color is, and on the back I just put a 1x1 stud for that same color. These all turned out really nice and look almost identical to their in-game counterparts. One of the most important additions to this season is the Oni masks. Now there's only 2 in the game right now, the Fire Oni mask and the Void Oni mask, but these are both pretty good in game, especially the Void Oni mask. So I built both of them. Taking a look first at the Void Oni mask, I got this little white tooth piece, which I think represents the center very well, along with a purple stud. And for like the horns coming out of this side, I used these robot arm pieces. Going over to the fire one, this one's a little smaller. I used that same tooth piece, but this time in red, along with a translucent orange tile on top, and then I used these 2 horn pieces coming out of the side. These are a little oversized, but it was very difficult to be able to make them smaller because this is just about as small as you could possibly make them. But you can, if you'd like to, put them on your minifigures, although it does look a little goofy. But now let's move on to all the guns that are in the game. First, we're going to take a look at the ARs. Here's my build for the Fury Assault Rifle. It's a pretty simple build. I did use a minifigure hand along with a binocular piece, and the main structure in the middle is just this black rod. For our other AR, we got the Hollow Twister AR. This one's a little larger, but I made sure to capture every single part of this weapon, including the little scope on the top. I again used a minifigure hand here for the magazine, and this clip is where your minifigure would hold onto the gun. Now for shotguns, here we've got my Oni shotgun. This one turned out pretty nice, I think. I use this like elongated lightsaber hilt here for the end. I put a clip here because there is kind of like a little bit of a gun that's not the barrel on the bottom, and this is where your minifigure would grab it down over here. Then we've got the Sentinel Pump Shotgun. This might be my least favorite one I made in this video. For the handle, I use this clip piece here, kind of at an angle. I also used a few of these 1x1x2s stacked up here and these have holes in them, which makes it really easy to just put a rod through them. And then we've also got a few brown studs at the back. Then for our final shotgun, we've got the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun. This one turned out really nice in my opinion. This is kind of like the barrel where it holds all the shots. And here we've got the end. This is where you would grab onto the shotgun, and then in the back here we just have the stock. For our first SMG, we got the Surge Fire SMG. Now I made sure to include the red elements that are in this gun in game. I used this faucet piece for the handle. On the back there's just a cheese wedge. I used a headlight brick in here along with some pieces on the top and bottom to kind of sandwich the red in between some black, and then just a black stud on the very end there. For our next SMG, we got the Veiled Precision SMG, and this one was only 3 pieces, but it turned out really nice. I used this T-bar piece here along with the lightsaber hilt at the end, and then on top for the scope, I just used a 1x1 clip piece. And for our final weapon of the video, we've got the Typhoon Blade. This one was really easy to make. I just took a normal katana piece and added a few pieces onto it, and I think it turned out honestly really great. Now that was everything I made in this video. Like I said, keep your eyes out for a Winterfest video where I'll be building every single item that comes out in Winterfest along with the entire Crackshot cabin. If you like this video, comment down below what I should make next. And also, if you guys would like to see any of my other LEGO Fortnite videos, you can click on one of the cards on the end screen now. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching.